What do older workers want? Well, factors that make work fulfilling for older workers are largely the same as they are for everyone else, and that's according to the Institute for Employment Studies in the UK. Older workers, they look for employment that's personally meaningful, flexible, intellectually stimulating, sociable, and age inclusive. And they also value opportunities for learning, for mentoring others, and career progression. Now, if you're older, and if you're looking for a job that meets some or most of this criteria, well, I've got 7 career options for you to consider, and I think these options could be a good fit whether you want a second act career or if you're just looking to make some extra cash. Welcome back to Over 50 TV, where we offer essential work and money tips for people over 50. My name is Lou Reyes. Well, before the break, I'd tell you about what I consider 7 satisfying job options. And these are good options whether you want a second act career or maybe you're just looking to make some extra cash. Let's start out with job option number 1, nonprofit worker. When many people think of nonprofits, the first thing they think of is a social welfare organization or maybe even a soup kitchen. They don't often think of other kinds of nonprofits like social and recreational clubs or labor and horticultural organizations or even business leagues and chambers of commerce. You know, the reality is there are many types of nonprofits, and they hire and pay people to do pretty much all the same jobs that for-profit businesses hire people for. They have employees that do things like graphic design or bookkeeping, human resources, marketing, sales, research, and they've got people who write proposals. Just because the organization is called a nonprofit, it doesn't mean they don't pay employees. Now, there are the exceptions, like maybe some smaller nonprofits, but overall, most nonprofit organizations are staffed by people who regularly collect a paycheck. One of the first questions that I get asked whenever I suggest working at a nonprofit is this: do they pay competitively? Well, the answer is some nonprofits do and some don't. Many do pay below market, but successful nonprofits, they strive to pay competitive salaries because they know that when they pay competitive salaries, they'll attract the best workers. If you're interested in working for a nonprofit and you want to learn what the average salary should be for a particular position, well, I recommend that you check out salary.com or payscale.com. But you should also research that organization, go online, check them out. That way, more often than not, what you're going to find is you're going to find a job description, you're going to find a salary range, and you can determine at that time if it's right for you. Product demonstrator and promoter. Great jobs for older workers often involve interacting with the public. And as a result, older workers, they just seem to thrive in positions like product demonstrators or promoters. Now, a product demonstrator is a person who introduces shoppers to a featured product and also shows them how to use or sample the product. And these demonstrations, they're typically performed at supermarkets or done at department stores, discount clubs, and even at special events. And these jobs, they're popular with older workers because they offer flexible hours, and some of them, I'd say many of them, offer an hourly wage, and that includes bonuses. Now, if you're interested in a product demonstrator position, something I recommend thinking about is a product or type of products that you enjoy and that you believe in. And then what I would do is I'd contact the companies that manufacture those products, and I'd ask them if they have a demo program. You know, most demo programs, at least from what I found out, they work on a contract basis, but some do pay hourly, and those, of course, they're going to be taking out taxes. Now, I also recommend this. I recommend looking for programs that also offer bonuses based on sales. According to ZipRecruiter, the average annual salary for a full-time product demonstrator was $28,203, but top earners, they can earn as much as $38,000 per year. Retail salesperson. Work in retail, it's not the most lucrative job for a person over 50, and it's definitely not glamorous. But I can tell you this, job flexibility, why, that's a hard benefit to beat when it comes to working at a part-time or maybe even a full-time gig. The thing that's good about looking for a job in retail is that a wide variety of stores are often looking to fill sales positions, so it's very likely that you're going to find a job that matches your interest. In many retail positions, one of the benefits They allow workers to engage with customers and to share their knowledge. And those are definitely two attributes that can make working in retail an appealing proposition if you're somebody who really enjoys interacting with customers. Now, I do want to make a word of caution here. Before you accept a job in retail, I'd strongly recommend that you research the company thoroughly. If at all possible, I'd speak to a couple of former employees about their experience working for the retailer. And something that what I do a lot when I go into a store, is I ask current employees about their job. And what I've found many times after doing this is I've learned that some good retailers are out there, but there are a few that I wouldn't want my grandkids working at. So check out the retailer thoroughly. Now, according to salary.com, as of July of 2021, the average hourly wage for a full-time salesperson in retail falls to between $11 to $16 per hour. Tax preparer. When I was going to college, I was hired by the Internal Revenue Service to help taxpayers prepare their personal tax returns. Now, after I went through the agency's extensive, and I really should say exhaustive training program, I was assigned a desk and I answered taxpayer questions for just about 4 hours a day, and I did this by phone. This was one of my all-time favorite jobs because I was paid well, I was treated well, and I enjoyed the work. Now, I can't tell you if the IRS is currently hiring, but I can say two of the larger tax prep companies in the U.S., H&R Block and Jackson Hewitt, are looking for workers. At Jackson Hewitt, they are looking for new and skilled applicants to work as what they call tax pros. They offer flexible scheduling, continuing education, and opportunities for advancement. H&R Block, the largest tax prep company, is also looking for applicants. The tax preparer job description on their website says they expect tax preparers to, and I quote, provide an accurate and complete tax return using a high degree of ethics and integrity. Now, the average H&R Block tax preparer hourly pay in the U.S. is approximately $13.74 an hour, which is about 12% below the national average. Jackson Hewitt, they're starting people at $15 per hour, but I recommend you just talk to the sales rep or one of their account reps to find out what they pay. Now, if you love numbers and you enjoy helping people, this could be a nice part-time gig, or maybe it evolves into something that's much more than that. Now, I don't think it really does matter, though, if you work for one of the two larger tax prep companies or if you decide to work for a smaller organization. What really matters is that you get the tax prep training, because once you have that training, you can go just about anywhere to find a tax prep job. Medical assistant. A medical assistant, also known as a clinical assistant or a healthcare assistant in the U.S., is a health professional who supports the work of physicians, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, and other healthcare professionals. And this is usually done in a clinic setting. Now, if you enjoy learning and if you enjoy helping people, why, working as a medical assistant, it could be a good fit for you, even if you don't have a healthcare background. But first, you will need to complete medical assistant training programs, and most likely you're going to need to obtain some certifications. Now, the exact amount of training time, well, that can vary, but according to Delta Medical College, it typically takes 9 months to 2 years for most aspiring medical assistants to get the training that's required. Now, pay does vary by state, and it varies by region. For example, in Akron, Ohio, a medical assistant, they can earn anywhere from $30,000 to $41,000 per year. In California, the range is $35,000 to $47,000 per year. Consultant. If you really like your current career, but you're thinking you want to ratchet back your work schedule, well, there's no reason to change careers or to change fields. Instead of leaving your job completely or just retiring, why not consider switching your status from employee to that of a consultant? Now, this will give you the job flexibility that you crave, and it also keeps that income coming in. And nowadays, most companies are using consultants. In some cases, a consultant will be brought in to help on or with a specific project, while other times consultants are brought in to train or to mentor a new employee. If you have a good relationship with your current boss, or maybe you know people in the industry, why not ask them to consider bringing you in as a consultant? Now, compensation for consultants, it does vary by job, of course, but a good rule of thumb is to negotiate an hourly fee of no less than the highest hourly rate that you earned, plus a 35 to 50% premium. And the premium that covers the taxes that you're going to owe on the income, plus it includes a small fee for the convenience that you give your employer for making yourself available as needed. Temporary worker. A career as a temporary worker, or as a temp as we call them, is an excellent option for older workers who don't want to go through the hassle of job hunting. And really, after all, they just prefer a short-term assignment. They're not looking for a long-term gig. So finding a temp work, I think, should be relatively easy now with companies desperate for workers and unemployment currently at a 16-month low. I would think if you go to a job counselor at a staffing firm in your area, they'll be able to help you to find a temp job that meets your needs. Now, in central Ohio, which is the area that I'm at, actually central and northeast Ohio, we have a nonprofit organization that offers free job placement and training to low-income adults who are 55 and older. And what they do is they help people find part-time and full-time jobs, short-term, and yeah, they do find them or help them to find temporary employment. If there are organizations like this in your neck of the woods, I'd really give them a call, and you can find them out just by going on or surfing on Google and looking for organizations like that can help you, maybe to provide some training. But if you're not looking for one of those type of organizations, certainly Google staffing agencies, temp agencies in your neighborhood, in your neck of the woods, and I know you'll find an organization that can help you. Well, there you go, folks. I've just given you 7 job options that could be ideal for you. Now, certainly, I got to say, there are many other job options, but I know that these are some pretty good options, whether you're looking for a second act career or maybe you're just looking to make some extra cash. Now, if you have any questions about any of these job options, please write them in the comment box. If you decide you want to send me an email, well, you're welcome to do that too. Now, before I let you go, I want to ask you to consider subscribing to Over 50 TV, where we offer essential work and money tips for people over 50. To subscribe, all you've got to do is hit that little red button that's underneath your screen. Now, if you do think, you believe, you know you got value in this video, I'm going to ask you to give me a thumbs up. That does let me know that you enjoyed our program. Well, as I always say, have a great day, everybody.